A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. Again, a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. And that's a Chinese proverb. So one of the acronyms I have for myself is FCME, Focus, Create, Master, Evolve. You guys heard me say it before on my podcast. And the M is for mastery, as in self-mastery. And when I came up with that acronym, when I came up with that, motto for myself along with others, it was when I start to realize that it's not about trying to live your life where things don't happen, where you don't go through trials, because that's not going to happen. It's about mastering your emotions, mastering yourself to where you control your actions when things do happen, because things are going to happen. I once told my daughters, you're more likely to control how you react to a bully than you are to controlling bullies. You can't control what somebody else does. You can't control how somebody else acts, because you don't know their background. You don't know what sort of home life they're coming from. All you can do is control how you react in situations. And when I was growing up, I was never taught that. Well, I was taught that, but I wasn't taught how to react. I wasn't told that there's more than one way to react in a situation instead of just confrontational or with, I was taught, if somebody's bullying you, you bully them back. If someone steps in your face, you make sure they don't step in your face again. I was never taught to walk away. So the way I was brought up, it was that every time you're confronted with something, then you got to hit it head first. Well, that's fine if you think one or two things are going to happen to you in a year's time. But if you're living a life where you're out there doing stuff, you're going to always be presented with conflict. And if your only way of handling conflict is to respond with more conflict, you're never going to solve anything. It's just going to be, the conflict is just going to get bigger and bigger, greater and greater. So you have to have more moves in your arsenal than just, it's almost like a MMA fighter. Well, I mean, there's been recent examples of that, of one-trick ponies and being figured out. So if you only have one thing in your arsenal, you're not gonna make it far. And it wasn't until I became an adult, that I started to learn it, which is unfortunate. I mean, I learned it eventually, but that's really unfortunate. So you're gonna go through trials in your lifetime. So that's gonna do one or two things. You're gonna learn how to deal with trials. You're gonna learn how to react in situations other than just going straight forward, going head on. You're gonna learn how to maneuver. You're gonna learn, you get more moves in your wheelhouse, or you're just gonna burn out. You're gonna just keep stressing yourself out over situations, because every situation is not a big deal. And that's the way I used to handle things. Anytime someone said, I would take it personally. Anytime someone would reject me about something, or anytime someone would do something to what I thought was disrespectful, I would get bent all out of shape and handle it in a negative way instead of learning from it and turning it into a positive and then taking that life lesson to the next time it happened. Instead, I was just reacting the same way over and over, never learning how to deal with that situation, which is going to come up often. So if your only answer to a bully is to act bullyish back to that bully, you're never going to learn how to act another way. You're never going to learn that. And once you learn that trials are a part of growing, conflicts and things like that are a natural progression, and it's going to make you a better person. Once you learn it, then you're going to handle it a different way. Like I said, man, I became aware of it when I went into the military, but it wasn't until I got out of the military, I got married, I started having a family to where I learned, to where I actually started making efforts to change the way I reacted when confronted with life's trials. And that's really what it is. It's life's trials. It's not personal. It's not like someone has something against you. But unfortunately, the way I was brought up, that's how everything was taken. Like if someone someone step in your face, you gotta make sure they don't do that again. And that sounds like nobody's going to disrespect me. Well, it's not always that. It's not always someone disrespecting you. When you take it to that level, when you say they're disrespecting me, you're taking it personally. When it cannot be the case, this person might not even know you. You know what I mean? Like if you at the cash, I used to take this stuff personally. Like if I was at a cashier, she's chatting it up with the person in front of me. Then I get to the register, and all of a sudden nothing, no questions. I mean, no conversation, nothing, not even a hi. I used to take that really, really, really personal. I used to be like, she was just chatting it up but maybe she knew that person, and I used to take it as like, well, she's in a position, she or he is in a position of customer service. She should be that way with everyone, regardless of if I'm a regular or not. To me, that's just part of the job. And I used to take it personally when someone didn't react like that, especially if I saw them reacting that way to someone previous to me. So now what I do, I look at the name tag, and my kids they crack up when I do this. I look at the name tag and I be like, oh, hey, Bob, how's it going? And their face, that person's face totally changed. And what I'm doing, and you can see it in their eyes to where they're like, oh, maybe I should have said something first because this is my job. This person is the customer. Maybe I should have did that first. And then hopefully they learn from it and then react differently next time. But that's how I do it instead of just me being all pissed off, not saying anything, like, acting the way they acted, letting them bring me down to their level. That's the way I do it now. Like, okay, here's my chance to better myself and act another way than what I would normally act.